Hello everyone. Uh, I just wanted to inform to everyone. So from today onwards, I'm going to uh, give the free session of AWS. I mean free AWS training. So which all the services I know it, those are all things I'm going to cover it. Okay. So from perspective of AWS, so all the services, what are the services we are using in our data centers. So those all the services I'm going to cover it. Okay. So first, if we come to the, let me come to the our data center. Previously, we are hosting our infrastructure in our data center site. That means in our company. So this is yeah, how our traditional environment previously before coming to the cloud. Okay. So earlier, what the traditional IT and data centers. So we need to take care of networking, storage, servers, virtualization, operating system, middleware, runtime, data, application. This is our traditional environment. So these are all the things we need to take care of it. Once coming to the AWS, okay. So there is a split from cloud. Okay. So if you're talking about infrastructure, okay. So networking, storage, servers, virtualization, operating system. This will be taken care by AWS. Okay. So only thing is application data runtime middleware. Okay. Till this, I mean included operating system because AWS never support AWS. I mean OS related issues. Okay. So here there is mentioned you manage means these are all the things we need to take care of it. So these are the things AWS will take care of it. So in this session, what are the topics I'm going to cover it? I'll be talking about networking, storage, servers. Okay. So these three is main focus. Included virtualization means it will comes under servers only. Okay. And how we can install the OS, Windows or Linux. Okay. So all these five components I'm going to cover it. Okay. So related to infrastructure, if you're talking about the platform as a services, okay. So till here AWS will take care of it. Only thing is application and data we need to take care of it. If you're talking about software as a services, so for example Gmail, okay, that is a software as a service. So everything it will taken care by cloud provider. Okay. So this is all about the data center from traditional to till SaaS uh, SaaS services. Okay. So today, what I'm going to start means, so I'm going to start from the VPC. Okay. So there is a lot of services in the AWS. Okay. If you go through this all the services, it will give all the details. Okay. If you are talking about compute section, it will give the number of services we can use it. If you're talking about containers, if you're talking about database, if you're talking about machine learning, if you're talking about management governance and networkings and storage, security. So there is a lot of work there. Okay. So mainly we need to focus on these three area. Okay. Networking, storage and servers. Okay. So today I'll start from the VPC. Okay. So in this session, what I'm going to cover it, we are going to create a VPC from two ways. Okay. So that I'm going to cover it. Okay. So I'll be going through the some official documentation. So how we can create a VPC or okay. So let me create a VPC. So once you log into the AWS console, okay, you need to search it VPC. So if you are search it out VPC, so it will bring to the VPC console. Okay. So by default there is a by default VPC it will be there. So right now I have deleted my default, I don't require. Okay. If you wanted to keep it, you can keep it, no problem. Okay. So now I'm going to create a VPC. So here there is a two way to create a resource to create it. This is only from uh, the browser level. That means AWS console level. They have given two option. Okay. So one is for VPC only. This we need to create it manually each and everything. VPC and more thing. This will be automatically taken care by AWS. That means we need to just pass some information. Okay. Then automatically it will create it, and it will shows the diagram. Okay, so how the routing is happened. So once we created a VPC, it is going to the subnet, public subnet, and it is going to route table, and it is go to the internet gateway. And if you're talking about public, it is going to route table, private one, and project VPC3. Okay, and if you are talking about subnets, private, okay, sorry, this is public, so it is going to here. Okay, so this is the same thing. Once we create it, you will get to know what are the things it is going to create it. Okay, let me show it here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'll just mention the VPC automated. I can give it any name, no problem. Okay, so let me go to the official documentation, create a VPC. Okay, so what is exactly Amazon VPC? So you can just go through the theory documentation. This is for diagram. Okay, and if you wanted to know more about Amazon Virtual Private Cloud, it is how it is working. Okay, and so where all you can use it. Okay, so this is official documentation, and the pricing details, and what are the features, and how we can start the uh, yeah, Amazon, I mean VPC, how we can create it, and resources. Okay, so they have already given it some technical documentation, sample codes they have given it. Okay, so so if you come to the online documentation, you get it, and some FAQs. Okay, what is Amazon Virtual Private Cloud? It will get to know. Okay, so all the things you can just go to the documentation. You can learn yourself theory. Okay, so let me come to here. So here in the official documentation, what is Amazon VPC? IP addressing, and default VPC, how we can create it, create a our own VPC, subnets. Okay, connect your VPC, internet gateway or elastic IP, sorry, elastic, I mean NAT gateway. Okay, and how we can monitor it, and the examples, how we can create a test environment, web and database servers, private servers. Okay, so these are the things you can just go to the documentation at least daily 30 minutes, so that you will get to know. Okay, and this is very important, IP addressing, how this is working. So if you're able to see, this is a CIDR range. Okay, if you're talking about subnet, you can see, for example, if you create a VPC CIDR block, this series, it is going to 256 IP address. You can break the IP address, block the subnet. So you can break this like this according to your requirement. Okay, so now I'm going to uh, create a VPC. So I'm going to cover it. This is the one default. I'll take it. It is available 65,536 IPs. Okay, then I'm not going to select any tenancy, so it should be default. And here, if you come to the availability zones, there is a by default two. It is there. If you want, you can record three tier architecture. You can use three. Two tier architecture, you can use a two availability zone. For single tier, you can use it. Okay, and if you're talking about public subnet, you can use a two, and private subnet two. Okay, and if you want any uh, NAT gateway, you can use a AZ1, and one per AZ. If you need only availability zone, one per, you can select this one. Or if you want one AZ, you can use it. Okay, and VPC endpoints, you can make it none. Okay, so just create a VPC. Okay, so it will give the all the details. Okay, so now it is created properly. Yeah, let me create a VPC. So in the, it will create, it takes some time, at least 1 minute. Let me come to the official documentation again. Okay, so if you wanted to, by default there is a default VPC. Once you created the account, I think in the previous video I showed how to create a AWS account. You can just go to it, and you can see there is a by default already created a VPC. This is a default of AWS. Okay, and this is a diagram how the availability zones AC1, AC B, C. Okay, and it is connected with the this is local means it is a VPC. This is connected with the internet gateway. Okay, and if you wanted to create a using CLI, you can use it just AWS CC to create default VPC. Automatically, it will create a VPC using AWS command line. So if you wanted to create a VPC your own, this is how you need to follow. Okay, and okay, so this is all about official documentation. If you have any questions, you can come to here. Okay, so this it will give all the details. Okay, if you wanted to know what is this default VPC, here they are mentioned what is this default VPC. All your questions it is given by the AWS itself. Okay, only thing is you need to look for the documentation. Okay, so let's wait for the gateway to activate. And other than what else, security group. So this is very important, security group. So always security group attached with a VPC. Okay, so if you're able to see in this diagram, okay, public subnet 2, okay, private and private. So there is a security group for database also, web server also, there is a database. And if you are talking about security groups rules, okay, so only is protocol, okay, and port range, ICMP, source and destination that is required. So a single IP address you must use a 32 prefix length. For example, this is for our your public IP address, okay. And security group referencing. This is how the second once you created, this is how you look like, okay. And it is giving how to add a rule, okay. So you can just go to the documentation to create a security group also. Okay, this is for anywhere allows inbound in HTTP access for all IP addresses. Okay, this is for IPv6. This is again IPv4. This is 443 and IPv6. Okay, outbound. This is all. If you want only for the Microsoft SQL Server or any MySQL, you can use it for outbound traffic. Okay. And let me come to the next one is default VPC. So this is also same thing. Once you created a VPC, it automatically it will create a network ACLs. Okay, router it is connected default, and this is you can segregate it different subnet also. Okay, okay. So this VPC it is created by automatically. Okay, if you are talking, let me filter it out this one. So what are the resource it is created? We'll see. Okay. Just use it. Okay, if you come to the subnet, see, we subnet it is created two for private and two for public. Okay, and if you come to the subnet, come to below route table, it is associated with internet gateway. This is for public, right? So it is attached with the internet gateway. If you go to the private, it is attached with the NAT gateway. Okay, and this is for network ACL. Okay, so this is for ACL 6DE and this is for 60. Okay, this is always it is attached with the VPC. Okay, and if you come to the route tables, okay, here also same thing. It should be created one public because by default it is going to two. It is taken two subnet. Okay, and this is for private. It is taken separate subnets. This is by default created. Okay, if you are talking about here also same thing. Routes it is going to NAT gateway and public it is going to internet gateway. Which are the subnet association is happened for this route table, you can able to come to here, you can see it. Okay, and internet gateway it is created and it is attached with the public. If you come to the sorry, at gateway, you can able to see. So there is a two public NAT gateway. It is created. Okay. So it is attached with private uh, subnets. Okay. Can if you are come to here, you can able to see here. So this is attached with public two. This is attached with the public one. Okay. So this is all about VPC creating one way. Okay. So let me show it you uh, how we can create a manually. Okay. So now I'm going to create a VPC. I'm going to mention my VPC. Okay. And I'm going to cover it. I'll just mention it 10 dot 0 dot 0 dot 0 dot slash 16. Okay. And I'll create a VPC. Okay. So now it is created a VPC. Okay. The VPC name is my VPC. Okay. Or any name you can give it. Then how we can create a subnet. Just create a subnet, select your VPC and just mention my public one. And you can select availability zone also. Dot zero. Okay. So we can see this, we can create one more public and you can just copy this header range. This I'll be selecting availability zone B and I will make it 2. Okay. And create a subnet. Okay. So now it is created two subnet. I need to create a one more that is for private, right? Let me paste it here. I'll just make it 3. Okay, this should be C and I'll just mention wait. Just copy it and you can create a one more subnet for private. Just mention it too. And again you can just copy the cider range and you can select the availability zone, just make it here 4 and create a subnet. So now it is created a, we have created a VPC, we have created a subnet and we need to create a route table. Okay. Now we create a route table. I will uh, my route table. Okay. So I can select this one. I'll create a route table. Okay. So how do we associate a route table? Okay. From here also we can just mention my route table, right? So let me create it. One more, create a route table. I'll just mention it my public route. Okay. I'll just filter it. Okay. So sorry, not this one. My okay. So I'll just make it this one. Right. Sorry. My right. Okay. Now what we can do it. So we need to create a internet gateway for the my internet public. And I'll create it. Then I will attach with the our VPC. Okay. Then I'm going to create a NAT gateway. I'm going to create a NAT gateway one. I mean one NAT gateway I'm going to create it. Provide NAT gateway. And this is for where is that my public, yeah. I can use it existing one also, or I can use it. I'm going to let me cancel. What is the public name here? I'm going to select 4B. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to select it under this subnet public. I'm going to allocate the IP address and I'll create it. Okay. So we need to know this name. Okay. So now we have created a VPC, we have created subnet, we have created a route tables, we have created internet gateway, we have created net gateway. Okay. If we come to the net gateway, so how we can attach the net gateway. Okay. So just okay, let me come to here. Private, right? So let me come to the routes. I'll edit and I will make it as a 0 and sorry, and this you can change it. Okay, this is for private. Okay, if you wanted to do it for private, sorry, public, you can edit it, same thing. But public, always you should use internet gateway. Okay, so this is how we can create a VPC, subnet, and route tables, and internet gateway, and NatGate. Okay, so today's topic I have covered almost uh, all the topics. I mean, VPC section in the organization. These are all the main focus. They are going to use it. Okay. There is a lot of there is others also, security group, network ACLs. Okay, but customer gateway, site to site VPN, transit gateway. These are all things they are using. But for the testing purpose, you can try to learn this one. Then later you can learn other steps. So anyway, I'm going to cover it network security group. So network ACL just for to allow. Okay, for example, if you wanted to allow particular any port, okay, you can just use it. If you wanted to outbound also the same, and what is the subnet, it should be associated to allow or deny. Okay, so this about network ACL. Okay, so let's stop today's class. So I'll come tomorrow. I'm going to cover it EC2. Okay, so how we can create a EC2 with the public, with the private. Okay, and I'll talk about later uh, storage also. Storage means S3, and then I'm going to cover it auto scaling. Okay, and load balancers, and key pairs I'm going to talk about, and volumes, AMI, okay, instance type. Okay, these are all things I'm going to cover it, guys. Okay, and I'm going to cover it Kubernetes services also. Okay, and RDS, how we can create it, and certificate manager, and Route 53. These are the things I'm going to cover it one by one. So let's end of today's class for VPC. So VPC, this is how we can create it. We can launch a EC2 servers with the particular VPC. Okay, so let's stop this session, guys. Okay, let's join tomorrow or day after tomorrow, guys. Thank you. Bye bye.